In terms of income, again, in a summary of the income statement, looking at through the years, we are talking of the gross revenue, which comes mostly from interest income from the loans that we've been given, has been growing from 3.4 million 2009 to 5.4 in 2010. And this year alone, we've actually almost hit the same income within the last 6 months in terms of the loans that we've been giving on the investment. When we look at the establishment expenses, which I'm told are rents and salaries, basically what keeps us going, again, we are seeing half year we managed to keep a small amount of establishment expenses. It hasn't grown much in terms of rents and salaries. And then the gross income so far about 4.8 million. Then we remove the operating expenses, which has really shot up because we've done a lot of marketing this year in terms of going out and selling the shares and all those. When you look at the member expenses, which is basically the marketing and all, when I remove the operating expenses, we have an operating income of about 2.4. And then we have the finance expenses, basically the loan that we have, the interest we pay out of it. So our net income as at now, we already have about 1.5, which I know if it was a AGM, you can ask for dividends, which you can be able to issue from that, which is way more than what we had last year from that. In terms of the cash flow, again, basically shows the changes of how it has happened. The money that we've been able to give out, cash flow from operating activities, that is the money out, and our business is to lend money, shows a net out of about 28 million. Cash flow from investing activities, again, has been a bit low, about 142,000. Cash flows from financing activities, basically the money that we got into the operations, is about 28, which means we look at having money coming in and going out. The cash and cash equivalents at the period, that is basically roughly our liquidity in the bank accounts at any given month. As at June 30th, we had about 8 million in the account, and we see the change is about 91 million. So that has been the average that has helped us to operate so far. When you look at the year ahead, basically for the next 1 year, we want to project, given the trend that we have, the shares and deposit mobilization. We want to look at how those deposits will be able to grow on, and out of those shares and deposits, we look at how the trend will be in loans disbursement, which will impact our income. And then, of course, in the event that you're not able to meet the loan requirements, how we are going to bridge that particular shortfall. So far, we can say that the circle looks to be in a good position, because in the event that you're not able to meet all the loans, we are saying that we have borrowing powers of 60 million. 40 million has already been approved. Our auditors tell us that our debt to equity ratio stands at about 0.2, as in we finance most of our operations from our own money, which means we can actually borrow to even a higher extent. And then also, since we have a positive working capital ratio, then we have headroom to borrow externally, which is what we'll be working on as we move on for the next 12 months. So in terms of our membership growth, we don't expect it to take a very steep growth path. We want to use the same projection from the 1966 to the 2145 that we have this year. We expect it by September of this year, that is Q3. We'll be having about 2,400 members. By December, it will grow to 2,600. By March next year, as we go to the AGM, maybe we'll be hitting the 3,000 mark. And we expect it to maybe settle conservatively at 3,300 by the same time next year. In terms of mobilization of shares and deposits, again, we expect the trend to go modestly in that kind of a curve, from 72 million in September, end of Q3, to 98 million towards the end of the year, 132 million by March next year, and 178 million by June next year. That is based on the past history and the ratios that we've had. In terms of loans, again, we want to take the trend that is there, because like you had within FEP, there are so many opportunities to invest, and we've noticed that a lot of investors are coming in, whether you want to buy into the school or the hotel and all those things that are coming. We want to be able to finance those things, and we expect our loan book to grow to that level. 159 million by September, to around 200 million by December, to around half a billion by March next year, to around, and settle at maybe 300 million by June next year. And if we keep this trend, maybe in the next 1 year we'll be talking a trillion, like oh no, a billion. We won't talk a trillion yet. Now, in terms of other disclosures that we want to do, and this is the final slide on it, we are currently, we all know that there is a new SACCO Act which came into force 2008, which describes how we need to split our shares and deposits so that they are separate. That has already been done, and I know you'll be advised to be told these are your shares, these are your deposits. It's still your money with us. It's more of a book exercise that we'll be doing. We are also pursuing an opportunity to get FOSA licensing. That is in terms of being compliant to the SACCO Society Regulation of 2010 and SASRA. So we are working on that to be able to have front offices. We have two options of either going through the approval process or maybe acquiring an already existing FOSA, which we are already negotiating with, and see whether it would actually work better for us. So far, we've already been able, for us to grow our investment cash flows, we purchased shares of CIC Insurance, which actually, they were introduced in the market last year in November at 27 shillings. Those shares are currently trading at around 90 to 95 shillings in over the counter. CIC is planning to have an IPO beginning of next year, first quarter of next year, and they're saying they, before they do that, they'll split the shares 1 to 20, and basically they'll introduce the shares at either 5 shillings at the lowest or 10 shillings. So what the SACCO has done is that we've been able to buy about 700,000 shares already, and we've applied for an additional 300,000, which we want to hold as part of our asset base and collateral, because we want to target to have 1 million shares that we'll own. If we are able to split those shares to maybe 1 to 20, then we'll have 20 million shares. And if those 20 million shares are going to sell at even 5 bob, it means that we'll actually have an asset base of close to 100 million, which will help on our asset side of the balance sheet and boost our borrowing powers. We also want to give an opportunity. There are some members who have asked us whether they can buy them through us. If you buy them directly from CIC, they're already closed for Class B. So you can only buy them at the market rate. We are getting them as a SACCO at 27 shillings. The only catch is that we can't transfer them to you until after the IPO. So those ones, again, you can see Perpetual or come to our office. You can explain if you're interested in getting a bit of that. But what we wanted to do for us is to boost our cash flows in the investment activities and also our non-current assets so that we have a better base. We are also pursuing debt financing because we've realized the amount of money that you're mobilizing and the loans that are coming up, we may not be able to finance them. So far, we've been able to look internally and borrowed close to around 35 million in terms of operating loans that we have with Cooperative Bank. And we also have applied to Women Fund, who they did the tender in May, which we applied. Out of the 65 applications that were done, they shortlisted 33. Out of the 33, we are number 9. So I think, having looked at our financials, they are seeing a SACCO that is good enough. And we are hoping that they'll be able to disburse that money by next month.
Today is a very important day for the investors of FEP, because for me it marks a key departure on getting to what I call the highway or the acceleration lane. That we have been in the bush meandering, but the defining moment has come. And this is the opportunity we have to say that the highway we have been waiting for, the clarity of our destination. And I want to say that our vision is nearer than when we began. And I want to say that I'm happy, I'm delighted to see all of you coming here. When I see the gentlemen and ladies seated in front here, I look back and see the far we have come with most of them. And when I see the new breed coming in, I just have everything but to celebrate and thank God that finally the team we have been waiting for has come. And I want to say that for sure, we have been preparing the way, but the people to take us to the promised land have come. I want to say here to our patron and the chairman of the advisory council and the incoming board of directors that these investors are just but a representation of the more than 1,000 investors who have bought one share within the FEP family. And I keep on saying out there, that is not a share of 10 shillings, not 10,000, but a share of close to 500,000. That they chose not to buy a car, they chose not to buy a plot, but they thought it wise to buy a share within the FEP family. My dear fellow investors, members of the advisory council, the incoming and outgoing FEP Holdings Board of Directors, the management staff, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome all of you to our first official annual general meeting of our company, the FEP Holdings Company. Today we conclude a long journey characterized by passionate and devoted men and women who tirelessly sacrificed for this cause. Where we met with doubts and cynicism during the implementation of bringing together like-minded investors, we responded with our creed that sums up the spirit of FEP, the power of many. We are celebrating today achieving 617 fully paid up investors as at 30th June 2011 and surpassing the 1,000 target of investors at the close of mobilization exercise that came to a close this week on the 15th of August 2011. Our eventual goal is to take investors to the level where they do not work for money, but money works for them. As such, our desire is to create model institutions where, like the wise men say, their money will jump in their compound 7 times before getting out of the investment compound. As we pursue these noble development goals, FEP will continue to benefit from increased direct investments and portfolio inflows by enjoying economies of scale and professional approach to prime investments. The long walk to financial freedom will be worth all it costs, as if it teaches us that our true destiny is not to be ministered unto, but to minister to ourselves and others. My future solitude will be to retain the good opinion of those who have bestowed it in advance, to conciliate that of others by doing them all the good in my power, and to be instrumental to the fruition of our Vision 2015. In your hands, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow shareholders, more than mine, will rest the final success of our cause. At the same time, I would like here to declare that this gathering marks a tremendous departure for the future. Our greatest primary task is to put our hands together. This is no unsolvable challenge if we face it wisely and courageously. The task can be helped by engaging our core values and our commitment to the service delivery envisaged in our company charter. These principles form the bright constellation which has gone before us and guided our steps over the years. We aim at the assurance of allowed and permanent financial freedom that will come if we hold long enough for our dream to come true. We have come to this hallowed spot to remind ourselves of the fierce urgency to deliver on our promise. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead with tenacity and persistence. Today we are birthing the FEP group of companies moving forward and entrust the same to able men and women to take us to the next phase towards accelerated realization of our Vision 2015. To all those who bore the pains of birthing FEP, who have worked so hard these last few months, and through those many years, I thank you and honor you. Our investors from the diaspora have been of immense support to me personally and the company at large. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, in our progress towards home stretch, I want to encourage you not to limit your vision in any way. Sooner or later, those who win are those who think they can. Our test and solemn duty is to take the vision from me to we. We can do no less. God bless you, and God bless FEP.
I wish to thank everybody and to welcome you officially to this annual general meeting of FEP Holdings Limited. The first agenda for the day is to confirm that in accordance with the Articles of Association of the company, we have the requisite quorum to hold this meeting. And I can see we have about 300 members, and I confirm that indeed we have the requisite quorum for the meeting. So this meeting is convened pursuant to an order of the Board of Directors, passed in a meeting held on 21st of July this year. And the agenda of the meeting is as follows. The first one will be to table proxies. The law allows shareholders who are not able to attend meetings in person to appoint proxies or agents to attend this meeting on their behalf. I have not received any proxies from any member. I believe many of you are able to make it and attend in person. So I have no proxies to table before this meeting. Now the second agenda of this AGM will be to receive and, if approved, adopt the audited balance sheet and accounts for the year ended 30th June 2011, together with the chairman of the Board of Directors, CEOs, and auditors' reports thereon. Thereafter, we shall go to the next agenda, which will be to elect directors. The founding directors of FEP Holdings Limited, being FEP Capital Limited, Fountain Investments Limited, FEP Initiative Limited, FEP Nairobi Investment Limited, and FEP Kirinyaga Limited, will retire from office in accordance with the Articles of Association and do not offer themselves for re-election. And then after that, to note that the auditors of the company, Mutahi Maraga and Associates, will continue in office in accordance with Section 159(2) of the Companies Act, and to authorize the directors to fix their remuneration. The next agenda will be the formalization of company structures, and to facilitate this, we now need to restructure the company so that that can be accommodated. So it is proposed to consider, and if thought fit, pass the following resolutions: that FEP Holdings Limited be converted from a private company to a public company to pave way for its restructuring. That Article 2 of the Articles of Association of FEP Holdings Limited be deleted in its entirety and be replaced with the following article, which is that FEP Holdings Limited is a public company limited by shares. In accordance with Clause 6 of the Memorandum of Association of FEP Holdings Limited, Articles 4 and 5 of the Articles of Association be amended to increase the nominal share capital of FEP Holdings Limited from Kenya shillings 100,000 to Kenya shillings 300 million by creating 59,980,000 additional shares divided into 5 shillings each to rank in pari passu with existing shares.